Hi everybody! I got a couple of requests in the comments for a tutorial on these Kanzashi flowers that I had made. So I'm going to do an English version for you and hope that it's easy enough to follow. I did make another one tonight with a textured ribbon, completely different look, but I still think it's pretty darn cool. And the ribbon was a lot bigger than what I have been using, so it definitely came out a larger flower. A lot harder to work with because of the textures on it, but pretty cool. Love the colors of it. So what you're going to need, if you have a pair of these tweezers with the 45-degree angle, these will be your best friend when you make these flowers, or when you make the petals. You'll need a pair of scissors. You'll need a lighter or the Hot Marks tool. I don't have this plugged in, but I'll show you how you want to use it, even though it's not heated up. You know, a circle, felt, paper, whatever you have handy, and your glue gun. So what I worked with, I've already made up a bunch of petals, but I left 3 pieces of ribbon to be able to show you. And you can pretty much cut them whatever size you want, but you do want to give yourself a little bit of, some kind of length to work with. This ribbon is 1.5 inches wide, and I didn't measure when I cut it, but I measured it before I started recording, and it's 2 5/8 inches long. So what you're going to do first is you're going to take your piece of ribbon and you're going to fold it in half lengthwise. And I hope you're able to see that okay. And then you're going to take your 45-degree angle tweezers and you're going to place it on the ribbon like that, where the point is just about right at that folded corner, and you want to keep it in an angle. And you're going to squeeze it tight, and you're going to cut that excess off. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then if you were using a Hot Marks, you would rub it right along the edge and let it melt. Or you use your lighter and go along the edge. And what you're actually doing is melting or fusing the 2 sides of the satin together. So that's what you have. Okay, and then you're going to hold it with the point toward you. The open side is down. This is the open side. You want it down with the point toward you. And you are going to basically pleat in both sides toward the center. And let me see if I can get this closer. I've got my thumb pretty much in the center there. Thumb and finger on the side here. And trying to do it at a funky angle. And I'm pleating it in toward the center. And I'm going to hold on to that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to tuck it under. Do the same thing on the other side. Keep getting out of shot, sorry about that. And I'm going to grab both sides of it, holding it together in the middle between my fingers, and I'm pinching it. And I'm going to grab my tweezers and pinch it toward the bottom. So that's what I have. And I want these tweezers actually, I want a straight, going straight across that bottom. Now I like to make sure that I have a clean edge to melt. So I'm going to take my scissors and just cut that excess off. So this is what I have now. And I'm going to take my lighter while I'm squeezing tightly and run it across a couple times and seal that together. Don't touch the tweezers where you've just heated it. Give it a little pinch, and there's your petal. And I'm going to do it 2 more times. And let me zoom this out just a little bit. Ooh. Maybe that'll be a little easier. Okay, so I'm folding it in half, lengthwise, edge to edge, taking my tweezers and putting the point at the fold, trimming it, and I'm just using the tweezers as a guide, and melting the 2 sides together. Now this is the open side, and this is your top side. Top side up, point facing you. Bring it in, holding the center. Whoop. And hold that. Bring the other side in. I'm going to do that again because I was out of frame, and I'm holding this way up so that so that it can be in the view of the camera, so it's very awkward. I'm pleating it in, and I'm pleating it in, and you know what, I'm going to stop the camera for a second and lower it for a little bit because I see I keep going out, and this is the important part, so I will be right back. Okay, hopefully this will be way better. Okay, so I have the point facing me, thumb pretty much in the center, grabbing the side and pleating it toward the center, hanging on to it. Now doing the same thing with the other side, pleating it into the center and grabbing a hold of it with my other thumb. Grab my tweezers, and that's how I'm holding it with my tweezers, nice and tight. I am going to cut so I have a clean edge, and still holding tightly to the tweezers, melt that shut. Give it a little pinch. See, now it's not quite all the way melted there. So I'm going to grab my tweezers again. This time putting it almost right at the edge. And I'm going to put some more heat on. And if I were using the hot marks, then I would just run the tip right against it till it closed up. Yeah, and basically met the tweezers. Still not quite melting. Of course, the first 17 petals I made, I didn't run into this, so hopefully this one will get it. Okay, we got it that time. And there's your petal. Do it one more time. Fold your ribbon in half lengthwise. Get your tweezers with a point just about to the corner at an angle, and cut the ribbon at that angle using the tweezers as a guide. Get your lighter and melt those edges together to close it up. Okay, and now, yeah, it's fused together. There's your underside that would be open. The point toward you, thumb in the center, pleat in one side, hold on to it, pleat in the other side, get your thumb over that other side also, get your tweezers and hang on tight. That's what you've got. Get yourself a clean edge. And fuse it together with the heat. Okay, and there's your petal. So I did 20, or I have a total of 20 now. I used 20 on this one. I used 20 of the satin on this one and 10 organza. And on this one, because it was so big, there's actually 3 layers on there. Bottom layer has 8 and the other 2 layers have 5. So I had a couple extra petals. Okay, and now I'm going to turn the camera off for a second and readjust so that you can see the assembly. Back in a minute. Okay, so I have all my petals and I have my little felt circle and I have my glue gun. So you're going to take a petal and you're going to flip it over so that the open side is up. And on the first petal, you basically, I go in a clockwise direction. So I'm going to put glue down just on the half that will be in that clockwise direction. And I do that so that there's actually room for me to tuck the very last petal underneath of it at the end. And I just put it on the wrong side. There we go. And I'm putting it toward the outer edge of the felt, not directly in the center, because I do want to leave room for a second row. And I'm just going to glue petals. From here out, I'm going to put the glue all the way across the bottom, and I am going to overlap a little bit. as I'm putting them down. And you probably don't want to sit here and watch me glue all these petals. So I will fast forward until I get to the last petal. I want to be uniformly overlapped. So thank goodness hot glue gives you a little bit of lead time or play time. Okay, so I'm overlapping pretty much at the center point of the previous petal, just so you can see. So much for fast forwarding. And you never know. I mean, you might have 20 petals, but you might not need all 20. Or you might find that you need a couple more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th one. This is 9. And I'm going to go ahead and, ouch, and put a 10th one in there. Because I have just a little too much gap in there. And on the last one, okay, I guess my glue ended up spreading. What the heck did I do? That's my first petal. How did I get lost? So I am going to take these up. And move them over. Okay, that makes more sense. And the last petal, my first petal, I have that half that is not glued down. It's going to make it so much easier to get this one down and tucked under. So I'm lifting that up, putting this down, is that the right direction? I want it to be over. Well, it's not exact, but that's going to get covered up anyway, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. So that is your first layer. And then you just do the second layer, and you bring it into your felt circle a little bit more, however much you want it, and you put it between the petals of the bottom layer. So that's the one I just put in. I stuck it in between, and I'm going to go all the way around again. And let's see if I can do it a little quicker so that this doesn't take all night. Seems like the more careful I try to be, the more I screw it up. And I did already go ahead and pull out a center, the one I think I'm going to use for it, but sometimes I'll just I'll pull a few out and put, you know, just set them in there and look at them and see if that's what I really want to use or not. Because these are just such pretty flowers, they really deserve a pretty center. And my initial thought was that I'd like to have something pink in the center. Pink bling. Take note, Artie and D. Pink bling is hard to come by. So if you find some, I'm sure there are several of us who would be very happy to get our hands on it. And again, I'm going about to the halfway point of the previous petal. And I'm offsetting in between. Forgot to leave myself an open space underneath that first one. Try to pull that up a little bit so that I can get this in. And this particular one did take all 20 petals again. But, I mean, it's pretty much up to you. You know, how you want to space your petals. And I've said it before, I'm the world's worst at getting them in a good uniform circle. But there it is. And I do have this pink bling that I was thinking about putting in the center, but I'm not sure yet. And that was one that I made. I'll try a white one. This is from Dee's shop, Elegant Embellishments. And I do like that. But I'm not going to glue it on yet. I think I'll decide on the morning if that's the one that I want to use. So I hope that was easy enough to follow. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will put the direct link to the video that I followed, the one that's in Russian. I know I linked to her channel yesterday, but I didn't link directly to this video, so I will put a link directly to that there. And hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was easy enough to follow. And let me know if you make some. Want to see them? Okay. So for now, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate your comments, and I will see you soon. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.